Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a concept that honestly redefines one of our most fundamental experiences, darkness. So get ready to see shadow and the void not as an absence of something, but as a powerful, structured reality all on its own. Our entire exploration today, it all hinges on this single, absolutely electrifying verse from the Zohar, the foundational text of Jewish mysticism. Just listen to that again. Darkness is black fire, red fire, green fire, white fire. Now, this isn't just a metaphor, not in the way we usually think of them. This is a statement of cosmic physics. The Zohar is telling us that darkness, or hoshech in Hebrew, isn't an absence of light at all. It's a substance, it's a presence, it's a complex, multi-layered structure made of 4 totally distinct types of fire. So I really want you to hold this question right at the front of your mind for our entire time together. What if the darkness we sometimes fear, that unknown we hesitate to step into, what if it's not a void? What if it's a plenum, a rich, structured, and incredibly potent reality just waiting for us to understand it? This is the question that's going to guide our entire journey. To really get our heads around this idea, we're going to follow the path of the ancient mystics and explore it on multiple levels. It's like a journey. We'll start with that core verse, then move to some powerful analogies, get into the deep mechanics, uncover a profound secret, and finally, we'll paint a cinematic vision of what this living darkness actually looks like. So, let's begin. So let's start by making sure our foundation is rock solid. The premise, it's both radical and incredibly simple. Darkness is not nothing, it is very much something. To be specific, it's a kind of composite material made of 4 distinct energies, which the Zohar calls fires. So forget the idea of just flipping a light switch and getting rid of darkness. We're about to learn how to navigate its internal architecture. Okay, before we dive into all the mystical terminology, we need a key. We need a way to unlock this whole concept. So we're going to use 2 really powerful analogies, one for the adventurer in all of us and another one for the engineer, just to help us grasp the fundamental logic of this whole system. You can really look at this structure in 2 completely different ways. You can see it as an epic video game quest to master elemental powers, or you can see it as an engineer's blueprint for a cosmic system. Let's explore the quest first. Okay, imagine you're the hero in a video game, right? You enter this world of shadow that's powered by 4 primal energies. Your quest is to master each one. You have to learn how to use the black fire to conceal things. Then you've got to wield the raw, intense power of the red fire. After that, you learn to weave the balancing green fire. And finally, your ultimate goal is to reveal the white fire that's been hidden at the very heart of the darkness all along. When you master all 4, you bring harmony back to the cosmos. All right, now let's switch gears. Let's put on our engineer's hard hat. From this perspective, darkness is a brilliantly designed system. The black fire isn't a bug, it's the foundational state. It represents maximum potential precisely because it's concealed. Then you have the red and green fires, which are these dynamic, interacting forces. The red is the force of din, or strict judgment, that creates boundaries, and the green is tiferet, or balance, that harmonizes them. And the white fire, the light of chesed, or kindness. It isn't just poured in from the outside. It's the controlled output that emerges from the interaction of these other layers. In this model, concealment isn't a flaw. It's a critical generative engineering principle. So, with those 2 analogies in our back pocket, we are now ready to pop the hood and look at the engine itself. We're going to map these 4 fires directly onto the mystical architecture of this Sephiroth, which are the divine emanations that literally form the building blocks of reality. Okay, now what's really interesting about this slide is how it translates a color into a cosmic function. This is the heart of the mechanics. So the white fire, Asha Shivra, is linked to the Sephira of Chesed, or loving kindness. Its whole job is to be the inner, concealed potential for light. Then you have the red fire, Asha Sumka, which corresponds to Gavura, or strength. This is the attribute of Din, or strict judgment. That's the force that sets limits. The green fire, Asha Yeruka, is Teferet, or beauty, and it's the force of Izun, or balance. And finally, the black fire, Asha Wushma, is Malkut, the kingdom. Its attribute is Kabbalah, which means reception. It is the ultimate vessel that contains all the other lights. Let's just zoom in a little closer on that black fire, the Asha Uchma. This is Melchut. This is the realm of our manifest reality. It's called the dark mirror because its function isn't to generate light itself, but to receive and contain all the lights coming from above. This is why it's associated with that famous verse, I am black but beautiful. Its darkness isn't a sign of lack, but a sign of its incredible capacity to hold everything else. You can think of it as the fertile soil where all the seeds of light are planted. Next up is the red fire, Asha Samka. This is the raw power of Gevura, of Din, judgment. Now, Din here isn't about punishment, not at all. It's about precision. It's about limitation. For anything to exist as its own distinct thing, a star, a rock, a person, there has to be a force that says, you end here and the rest of the universe begins there. That force is the red fire. It's like the cosmic sculptor's chisel, creating form out of what would otherwise be infinite potential. And then you have the green fire, Asha Yoruka, which is the great harmonizer. It corresponds to Tiferet, which means beauty. Its entire function is to weave together the outgoing, expansive energy of the white fire and the contracting, limiting energy of the red fire. Honestly, without this green fire, the universe would either just fly apart into formless infinity or collapse into a single dense point. It is the principle of synthesis that creates the beautiful, intricate reality that we experience. And finally, we have the white fire, Ashachivra. This is the fire of Chesed, of pure, unconditional loving-kindness. But here's the crucial secret, the part that changes everything. It is not a light that shines on the darkness from the outside. It is the ultimate source light that is intentionally concealed within the very structure of the other fires. It's the seed of pure mercy and infinite revelation, just waiting for the right conditions to finally be revealed. So we've seen the components, we've seen the blueprint, we've seen the mechanics, but this brings us to the deepest level of our journey, what's called the Sod, the secret. And the question is simple: why? Why go to all this trouble? Why create such an incredibly intricate system of concealment and layering and interaction? I mean, this question really moves us from just knowledge to actual wisdom. Why would concealment be the primary tool of creation? Let's find out. And here is the answer. The deepest secret of this entire system is that darkness is not a noun, it's a verb. It's not a place, it's a process. It is an active, dynamic processing layer. It's a cosmic engine that takes raw, infinite potential and transforms it into specific, manifest reality. So, the crucial point is this. Think of the structure of darkness as a powerful, encrypted supercomputer. The black fire, that's the foundational code, the BIOS or the system kernel. The red fire, with its intense power of Din, represents the high-intensity CPU threads, the part that's executing command and running all the calculations. The green fire, well, it acts like the system regulators and the load balancers, making sure the CPU doesn't overheat. And what's the result of all this processing? The white fire. It's the final illuminated output you see on the screen, and it's only possible because of the immense, concealed work happening deep inside the dark system. Now that we have the intellectual framework, I want to invite you to just put the concepts aside for a moment. Let's move beyond the diagrams and the analogies and really try to experience this reality directly. Let's step into a cinematic vision of this living, breathing darkness. I want you to imagine yourself just floating. Not in an empty void, but in the black fire. A warm, pulsing medium of infinite potential all around you. And then, suddenly, arcs of crimson red fire ignite, flashing through the space, carving out the laws of physics and defining the shapes of galaxies. Then, emerald ribbons of green fire begin to weave between them, breeding all that raw power into the beautiful, stable curves of life. And finally, from the very center of it all, a brilliant white fire shines forth, not from the outside, but from within. This is the whole purpose of the process, mercy illuminating creation from its own hidden core. And just like that, we return. We have completed our journey through the Pardis, ascending from a single paradoxical verse to a deep mechanical understanding, and finally to an integrated, visceral vision of a living cosmos. We've seen how darkness isn't an obstacle to light, but the very engine of its revelation. So what are the key takeaways? First, darkness is not empty. It is a living, structured substance. Second, it's made of 4 interacting fires, and each one has a cosmic purpose. Third, these fires map directly to divine attributes like kindness, judgment, and balance. And maybe most importantly, concealment isn't a problem we need to solve. It's an active, generative process that makes reality possible. The result of all this is a total transformation of our perspective. Darkness is no longer a source of fear, but a realm of incredible potential.
So I'll just leave you with this to ponder. How does knowing that even the deepest darkness, the most profound unknown you can imagine, contains a hidden divine structure of light, how does that change how you face the next challenge in your life? Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.